Dan Olds here, and this is another edition of the 2025 Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. And today we are getting our first look at Santa Cruz, the Not So Slow Slugs from UC Santa Cruz. And this is a team, Santa Cruz has had teams all over cluster competitions, and it's great to have them back here. I think they did you guys take the year off last year, or were you in last year? I can't remember.
We were in last year.
Were
Yeah.
you? Okay. Oh, you know what? You were the last 2 years. Last year, you missed out on first place by like, I want to say 6/10 of a point. There you go. The trophy. Yes.
It's
The
covering my
trophy.
face. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But good. It turned out well. It's good. Okay. Good. I never get to see them after I order them, but good. So good job. You've been a strong team, forever since you've been in this competition, and you're doing okay this year. But let's go around and meet you. Allie, let's start with you. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Alex Rudy. A lot of my strengths rely in like compilers and reverse engineering. So for supercomputer competitions, that's really helpful in reading compiler outputs and setting up build flags. And in the few times where we've had to build software ourselves, it's helpful for fixing linking errors and stuff.
Okay. And that's going to come in even more handy as we go through. You've got, plenty of stuff ahead of you. So, yeah, keep those skills sharp. Ant, how about you?
All right. I'm Ant. I'm a fourth year applied math and bioinformatics.
Mhm.
I've been doing HPC competitions for about a year now, and let's see. What else do I say?
What else do you say? Yeah, that's the question. What else?
Yeah, my strengths are in understanding both the math and the architecture and how they interact with each other.
Okay, good, 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 good. And then we are going to, hold on. I know this. Okay, I'm sorry. I flipped to a different tab. So we're going to Maxwell next.
Yes. Hi, my name is Max. I'm a fourth year applied math student, and this is also my first competition and also first time with the Not So Slow Slugs. And
How do you
that's,
like them so far? What do you think?
oh, very fun. Very amazing people, also very smart to their own respects.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
I'm very glad to be a part of this. This competition is sort of a cold plunge for me when it comes to working with compilers and working with architecture, especially, this in depth. But I do come from a math background, so at the very least, I'm able to digest some of these, 60-page papers on linear algebra that we're receiving to some extent. So that's one strength.
You can hold your own. Good. You can hold your own. Good job. And good you're having fun. That's got to happen in this too, or else it's just too tedious for all of us. So excellent. Andrew, grizzled veteran.
Yes.
Tell them
Um,
about you.
I'm Andrew. I'm a fifth year computer engineering major. I specialize in computer architecture, so I've been kind of using that a lot in this competition and the last
I'll bet.
competition
I'll bet.
to map problems to hardware. That's really my forte. And yeah, and I just started working at Tactical Computing Labs, which is an HPC
Oh,
uh,
really?
private research lab, actually. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with them. Are they very big?
No, not very big, but we
Okay.
specialize in a very niche part of the HPC kind of hardware space.
Can you tell us what it is? What is it? Or is it
We're
secret?
working mostly with RISC-V and
Oh,
kind of
okay.
application-specific computing. So we're doing less CPU, GPU stuff and more
Yeah.
ASIC-oriented stuff. So we build
Yeah.
custom chips and we map problems to use them to their full utilization. Yeah.
You do custom RISC-V chips?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Good.
RISC-V.
Good. Very cool. Sue, that brings us down to you, Toulon.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Toulon. I'm a third year applied math student.
Okay, okay. What's the difference between just, math and applied math?
Well, math purely probably is a little bit more rigorous and goes into like
I would think it'd be
it's
the other
like
way around.
strict,
Okay.
like
Okay.
theory, whereas
Oh,
applied math, we also talk about like computational methods and like also its integration in computers and how they solve
so
math problems.
kind of where the rubber hits the road. That
Yeah. And
yeah,
then we also do like we'll look into research like ideas and just how to apply it in the field.
but not so up in the air, theoretical,
Yeah.
non-real world is the okay. So you look down on them, right? The regular math students, right?
I don't
Between
want to
us,
take a stance on that. They're equally valid.
I'll say I very much love the theoretical math more than the applied math. I'm glad that they're doing it,
yes.
not me.
Not easy stuff. No,
Yeah.
no.
So this is my kind of first exposure to supercomputing, but
Hmm.
I have some background in more like software and coding.
Hmm.
Not as much hardware, but it's kind of inspired me to get some coursework in hardware and look into it.
Good.
Yeah,
What have you thought of it so far?
I think it's pretty fun. This team is amazing. They're so brilliant. I'm very lucky to see their brain in action, I feel.
Good, good, good. So, you want to hear how you've done so far?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes,
Okay.
you did so
I'll
good
bet you do.
on the Linpack.
Yeah, I'm finding you. I've got spreadsheets on spreadsheets here. Okay. You did you did well on Limpack, right? You're within 10% of the top, right? But the problem is Limpack is always top loaded. So that puts you in seventh just on Limpack.
No way.
I
Wow.
know, right? I mean, there was 100%, of course, because we normalized, and there was a um 99 and a 96 and so on, but you were really close to edging out a couple of other teams and working your way to, sixth or fifth.
Dude, if we did 480, oh, if we tried 480.
Hmm,
Maybe.
sad. Okay,
We
but
should.
the news gets better. In HPCG, which you obviously did not short change like a lot of teams do, you were third. And yeah, you were a close third. 93 and some change versus 96. So good job, but you only edged out one of the Channel Islands teams by 1/10 of a point. A win is a win, though, right? Third place is third place. Overall, you you add those scores up, you're fifth. You're in striking distance. Top team has 199 points after those two out of 200 points. Yeah, they did well. You have 184 points out of 200. So this is this is like rounding error close, given
Yeah.
that we're only 200 points into a 700 point competition. So great job. The exam results aren't fully baked yet, but I can tell you that you didn't win it. Uh, um, and I think you had a a good score, but you missed a bit on some of the essay questions. A little bit, if I remember right. And remember, I'm going through 14 of these, and I can't hold them all in memory, and the spreadsheets get too big. Um, but you did fine. Like, you know, of just looking at the score, you're going to get 80 points out of this. So that's enough to build on. Um, but some teams absolutely went through those videos minute by minute and did it fast, and then they went through and just cranked on the exam with a really quick time. Um, but
Wait,
anyway,
factor in.
I mean, you guys took 25 minutes or so to do yours. And there were some teams that were under 5 minutes, but they kind of drilled it in terms of having the exam in PDF form first and then holding off on when they came into their session until they had the answers absolutely drilled. So
We
I don't
had
know how
that.
much I don't
We
know how
had
much
that
of it
too.
you did the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we just didn't know it was timed.
We didn't know that the time was part of the score. We just
I was very clear about that. I was very
I
clear about
believe you, just probably just missed it.
but I'm not sure how much of a factor it's going to be. Um, that's the thing. That's what I've got the Council of Elders looking at right now, running simulations, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, you're in good shape. You're in striking distance, which is where you want to be. So great job. What'd you think of the training material, the HPC training material?
That was the first time I'd ever heard of OpenAC, which is
Oh,
like
OpenACC.
yeah,
Yeah,
OpenACC.
yeah,
I from the video, like OpenACC looks really, really cool,
yeah.
but I doubt that I'll ever have an opportunity to actually use it, unfortunately.
I don't know. Hmm. We'll see. I bet you might, right?
I hope so. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, what you guys think of the quality and the comprehensiveness and stuff?
solid.
It was really good. It was like pretty easy to follow, very thorough. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot there that so I read a lot of code with single machine like work scheduling systems. And there was a lot in those lectures that explained like threading overhead concepts a
Yeah,
lot better than I was able to before. So it's
that
yeah, really, really nice.
that was one of the things that I looked at so much stuff trying to figure this out, and so much of it was just way too concentrated on one machine or one lab or one application or one domain. And so the choice was, do I picked out a lot of pieces, but then I finally, after literally months, found that set of tutorials. I went, okay, this is one person who put the whole thing together. And I thought that was a lot better rather than, here's a class on this and here's a class on that part too, and all that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, so good. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will give you things that you can talk about in interviews and stuff. So when they start throwing terms at you, as they will, you say, "Yeah, I do. I have a pretty good, general idea of what it is. Isn't that how you did it?" That sort of thing. And the competition gives you war stories to use in interviews. That hands-on real world stuff. And by the time you're done with this, you'll have been on 5 different supercomputing systems. So that's a good thing. And Oak Ridge coming up, quantum. Yeah, that's cutting edge. And you're going to be, I told some of you, but you're going to be running on what is essentially identical to Frontier, which was the first exascale system in the US and the second fastest supercomputer in the world, as measured by the top 500. That's not a bad thing. That's resume worthy, I think. Um, yeah, yeah. And then you're going to have AWS after that. They'll throw a few curveballs, and then the mystery mentor. What is that, you ask? Details on that? It's a mystery. Yeah, yeah. It will all become clear in the fullness of time. Uh,
Do you
anything
know what
else?
it is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, I do. I do yeah. I know them. Yes, yes, yes. Um, and it should be a good final challenge. Then you have the dreaded judges interview with mentors and HPC experts, and then you're done. So yay! But it's still a long road. We're just barely getting into this thing. Um, and you're having fun. Is that true? Or are you just
Yeah,
making that up?
it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, good, good, good. And are you guys or Santa Cruz competing in any other cluster competitions this year?
I don't think this year. We recently competed in India SCC.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
last
Okay.
year.
How'd you do?
We didn't know because the top three teams weren't from the US at all.
Oh,
They didn't post the rest of
that
the teams.
Yeah,
see,
NDSCP was a little bit weird. We had to configure firewalls ourselves. We didn't have access to physical cores, only like virtual cores.
Yeah.
And the submission times were like based on European time or
It
something.
was all over the
It
place.
was really, really tough for us.
mm. The thing is, they should at least tell you your own scores and
Yeah.
just give you a numerical ranking of how you did. But there's a whole school of thought around the SC competitions that we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so we can't tell college students how well they did on this test because it might hurt their feelings. I don't roll that way. I want this stuff out. So yeah. And I think you do too,
Yes.
right? I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt anybody's feelings if, you know, they came in 11th or 12th or something like that because they're still way ahead of the game for having learned all this stuff.
Yeah,
My
I
philosophy.
mean that's one of the hardest things. Like, if I get a bad score on something and I know how to improve, I'll
Yeah.
work through that score. But the issue with like, I mean, maybe it's just because it's my first year really doing this, but like stuff like MPI and various supercomputing stuff, all the documentation is so vendor specific and
Yeah.
like anecdotal.
Yeah.
It's like if I got a bad score, I'd be like, I'd be a little bit lost on how to improve, right? But
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. You've got to know where you were strong, where you were weak, how close it was, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, it just doesn't make sense. Um, um, it's anyway, they have different philosophies.
yeah,
And they're kind of like that at the other competitions too. Um, and one of the things that you might want to think about in the back of your mind, although I don't know if the timing would be good, but not this year, but next year, there's a chance to send a team over to China
Well,
for the ASC competition.
You said next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of you are gonna age out because they want undergrads only.
that's three of us, right?
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
aren't you training the next generation?
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Yep.
I won't be an undergrad next year though.
Oh, you're
Ah,
Yeah, I'm
just
doing.
me.
okay.
she'll be
Four of
passing
us.
the torch on.
I'll be a master's student. So
Well,
you're
well,
awesome.
keep your eyes open then. Find those promising undergrads, get them trained up, and I'll help get you in it.
Oh.
And that is the tough one. They don't play. They don't play at all. They have like over 350 teams trying to get into their competition. Yeah. And this is where like the Tsinghuas and Peking University are generally the top. But there's room, and I want to see a really good Western team go over. And it'll take a lot of prep, but it's on the horizon. Irrelevant to most of you. I'm looking at you pretty hard right there in the corner. So you're going to be the foundation of the potential ASC team. Yeah. Was that interesting? Would that be fun?
Yeah, sure.
They
I-
really take care of the students well, by the way. You
Okay.
have translators and um, accommodations. All that stuff's paid for. The only thing that they don't pay for is flying you over and back, but they also provide the hardware.
Well,
So that makes it a lot easier.
yeah.
Anyway, food for thought. But for now, enjoy the last of your week off. Start training up for Oak Ridge. The chance for you to streak ahead. A good
Yes.
performance
Yes, we
here.
will.
And this is the first out of the box challenge thrown at you. I mean,
Yep.
this is code that they came up with, like they always do. And quantum,
Oh boy.
cool topic. Good stuff. Anyway, thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it. We'll try and get another interview in too later on the competition. And have a good night.
Thank you so
You
much.
too.
Always a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Jen.
Thank you.